welcome to Crypto Times. First of all, before we begin, I just want to thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to come here and attend this spectacular event. It has been really great for us, and from my team and from the entire, team, I want to thank you for that.
Of course.
All right. So first, we'll just I just wanna to know your opinion. Just your review on the product that you have launched, Trezor Safe 7. So how do you think it has been launched, and how it has been created, and everything about the product itself? Do you think it's going to be a great success, or are you going to win this in a technical manner, or are you planning to measure success in terms of salesman manner?
Yeah, so ultimately, I like to say the market sort of speaks for itself, whether the product is successful or not.
Right.
So we will see it on ourselves. We actually already have a decent amount of sales coming in for the product, which is super exciting, right? Because we haven't even really properly started any campaigns or anything. It's just like today, so that's exciting. And yeah, I think the customers will tell whether this is a good product or not. We obviously believe it is. I believe it is one of the most, one of the best hardware wallets in the market today. But yeah, let the customer decide.
Yeah, wonderful. And for the next question, I want to ask you that from the Berkeley to Bitcoin, I mean, coming from an arts background, where creativity and subjectivity experiences are the key.
Yeah.
So how has that influenced you to lead a company rooted in precision and logic of cryptography? This seems to be little different. So how has you transitioned yourself from this background to this place?
Yeah, so I think one of the key experiences that I have early on in life was basically working super hard on my technical skills of playing guitar. So I was basically practicing, 8 hours a day since early age till my 20s. Weekends, all the time. Whenever I could play, I would play. So, that has been kind of forming in the way that I kind of realized that if I spent enough time working hard on something, that I would ultimately get better at it. And I think that kind of led the way, in the sense that now I kind of see, like, when you push hard enough, you will ultimately get to the goal.
To the goal, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that helped. And on the creative side of things, I think it helped me to kind of, basically be more creative in marketing, content.
So that experience has actually helped you be creative and unique in this CEO position right now.
I hope. I don't know. Like, only history will tell, I guess. But I think that experience definitely helped. And honestly, somehow or sometimes creativity is linked to just like arts or the art space. But in reality, like, creativity is super important everywhere, right? So from the having interest in arts, guitar, and you said you're doing like 8 hours a day. Yeah.
So how come you get into crypto world? I mean, how did you even got introduced to it?
Yeah. So I think my path was more like entrepreneurial. So I basically started my own companies. They were not even successful, or that successful. So. But I think this kind of mentality of solving problems in the world, which is basically entrepreneurship,
right,
led me to Trezor. I just simply applied for jobs after like one of the fails that I had.
They hired you as a CEO?
No, they hired me as a product manager.
Right.
And then, but because I was applying this mentality of let's fix problems in the company, in the processes, in the market, ultimately in the world, then I think, it proved to be maybe like an efficient manager, I hope. and that led me to my current role ultimately.
That's wonderful. So, as a CEO, how do you handle internal and external pressure to ship new features and support new coins quickly, while refusing to compromise on your open source security model?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have clear mission and vision, which is basically uncompromising self-custody for everyone. That's what we are after. And my job is to really have sort of laser eye focus on that mission, and anything that falls like on the sides, then we should not go in that direction. So I kind of we are actually quite stubborn in our roadmap, what we want to do, how we want to do it, based on everything aligns around the mission, basically. So yeah, in general, on the networks, for example, we are quite conservative. So we look at the usage, the movement there, the number of users, etc. And then if we see enough of that activity, then we implement those networks. But again, quite conservatively.
So we could say that adding or any new coins is directly linked to the users. If the users would want it, and if it kind of fits in your criteria, then you would implement it.
Exactly, but it's important to know, like, if there's 5 hecklers on X or Twitter.
Right.
Then we are not going to do it just because of
just because it's hyped on X.
Exactly. Yeah. So we need to see more. We need to see
we need to see actual volume.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Volume, activity, and sort of number of users, at least estimations.
Right. And open source is one of your greatest strengths as a company.
It is.
So, but can you share a specific instance if, and where this radical transparency led to a difficult situation that a closed source competitor would not have faced?
So, I think the most obvious example would be, so we tried in the past to work with secure elements that were closed source. Right. We find some vulnerability with those chips, and those chips were, by the way, used by our competitors, by our direct competitors. And we found an obvious way how to get into that chip, but because of the NDA, because we signed the NDA with the manufacturer of the secure element, we are not legally allowed to talk about it with anyone, including the competitors. That were, by the way, giving us hell at the time for not using the secure elements, which we knew for a fact it's a basically shitty chip.
Yeah.
So that was really like a kind of eye-opening moment for us, where we realized, well, the security by obscurity is not the way to go.
Right.
We need to go transparent way, and that's how Tropic Square became an idea for a company and for a solution.
And you guys have executed it excellently. So, that's something I wanted to, congratulate for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Executed it and implemented in the chip and the device.
It's pretty complex, and it's been, it's complex, but we got there, so.
That's wonderful. All right, now I have a difficult question for you.
Sure, no problem.
So, government worldwide are looking at the self-custody with increasingly scrutiny. So, do you see regulation as an existential threat to be fought at all costs, or as an inevitable challenge that provides an opportunity to educate lawmakers and find a middle ground? Additionally, I would want to ask you, have you been pressurized by the government to do something that you wouldn't do as a company normally, like open a chip or reveal something that you don't want to?
Yeah, so we haven't experienced anything like that, any pressure from the government yet. That being said, of course, the regulation is worrisome for individual freedoms in that sense. So that would be, of course, a problem. But I cannot really foresee what's going to happen. I would just hope self-custody would stay sort of unregulated in the way it should be.
But if we, let's think about a hypothetical situation where you are being pressurized by a government to maybe unlock a device or do something that you normally, it's just against your ethos. What would you do in this scenario? I mean, how are you legally protected not to do that as a company?
I mean, we are protected probably as everybody else. Like, unless the government is legally allowed to push us, we would not cooperate, right? Like, because our customers are, how to say, I mean, we protect the customers, right? Like, if but yeah, if potentially, hypothetically, the government had, I don't know, like some legal manner how they would pressure us, so we would probably have to do it, but that hasn't happened yet, and I have never heard of it yet. So,
and let's hope that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Wonderful. All right, so the next question is about, the market right now is flooded with cheap hardware wallets, So how do you convince the newcomer to crypto to invest in premium battle-tested device like Trezor instead of affordable or good enough devices?
Yeah, so I accept the fact that like our most premium device now, Trezor Safe 7, is not for everyone, right? I can imagine it might be positioned for more advanced users, let's put it that way. Somebody who has the experience in the industry or with crypto and Bitcoin, and maybe like has higher requirements from the device.
Right.
That being said, I mean, it doesn't break a bank for many people. I assume it's still, the price tag is not super high.
So it's very reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. I would call it reasonable as well, and I think that's what we are trying to do, because we can therefore offer it to more people, right? So that's what we are after. So, I think the
right people will buy it.
Exactly. Again, like the market will speak, right? So yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, the next question we have is about the data breaches. So the industry has faced a lot of data breaches where customers' information were, exposed and later misused. So how does Trezor handles that thing? When you collect the data from the user, when they order something or when they're using it, you're getting the IP address or something. Some sort of information always is being in transition between the company and the user. So how does Trezor, make sure that it doesn't get into the wrong hand?
Yeah, so long story short, we delete it. We say the safest data is the one you don't have. So, so when customers order through our eShop, we do have to collect the data for some time, also for legal reasons.
Right.
But after certain, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 90 days or something like this, we actually delete it from the database and we don't have it.
Right.
And the reason why we have it to begin with, because we need to have the information where to send the orders, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's important, but after that we delete everything.
Right, so you don't keep the data, that's the best policy.
Yeah, we don't, exactly.
That's wonderful. All right, now I have made a lot of questions, but I already asked it to Tomas and Danny, so I wouldn't repeat it with you.
Of course, yeah.
But I have this question directly for you. So, are there any plans to launch an exchange service directly within the Trezor suite that will allow users to directly, maybe have an experience like something I would name maybe like more like Hyperliquid, not like Uniswap exchange, but more like Hyperliquid, because people are really using that, including me. So what is your take on that? I mean, maybe are you planning to have some sort of that kind of exchange, quick exchange service on your platform, or are you planning to integrate any existing applications on your platform?
So we have like swaps in our platform in Trezor Suite. So that's a feature that's available for many years. But I'm not specifically familiar, right? Maybe with what do you mean? So
I mean, like a platform that provides a leverage trading in a decentralized manner.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as far as I know, it's not on our roadmap. So I don't really know, to be honest. It might be there somewhere, like in terms of for us as some opportunity. But I'm not familiar with it enough. Sorry to say.
All right, that's fine. Okay, now we in a recent trend in the last year, we can see that Treasury are being very hyped thing. I mean, every company wants to have a crypto in the treasury, and they want to publicly announce that we are holding this many bitcoins or other crypto maybe. So as a company, Trezor, do you have any like a crypto treasury where you have like a certain amount of Bitcoin or any other crypto?
Well, so we are Bitcoiners to be clear. So as a company, I mean, so
Right.
so yeah, we do accept payments also in crypto and Bitcoin, and then therefore we keep some of those proceeds, on our side. But we don't think of ourselves as a Bitcoin treasury company, like built just for the purpose of holding Bitcoin.
Holding Bitcoin, yeah.
We are here for self custody. So
You have a bigger purpose.
yeah, exactly. I would say so.
Wonderful. All right. So at this time, we have seen that you have done a lot of great work for the Prague, including crypto.
Okay.
So my next question is about: do you see Trezor playing a more active role in making Prague a global crypto hub? And if so, how do you plan to do it?
So it has actually been happening in a way, and just by making our products great and
Yeah.
getting more users in a way, because we are growing as a company, and therefore we employ more people. We have more people that are excited about what we do.
Right.
We also sponsor some of the local events and conferences. Bitcoin is pretty strong as a topic generally in Czech Republic, for the reasons I mentioned in the keynote, I believe.
Right.
And yeah, so that's, I think, simple answer is we are doing it by being a great company, being a great product, and also investing the proceeds that we make into conferences, further presence, and even non-profits, because we also have some non-profits that basically help sort of spread the Bitcoin ways.
That's great. And we do have, we would like to get your opinions about Bitcoin, if you would like to say. What do you think of Bitcoin within the next 5 years? And how, if you would like to name a price, or just, if you would like to explain in terms of adoption of Bitcoin, what would be your take from 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, price speculations are always hard, but I would just say as a joke, when I was last asked about price, just a couple of years ago, jokingly I said 123,456, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just as a bit of joke, and yet here we are.
It became true.
Exactly, and
Maybe you should say 1 to 7.
Yeah, so let me say I think it will be above 200, maybe more. I don't know, but that would be my guess.
That's your fair prediction.
I would say, I think, yeah, my fair prediction would be somewhere between 200 and 300, somewhere there.
That's wonderful. All right, so we would like to know, as a person, what crypto do you personally believe in that you would probably hold? I assume Bitcoin is going to be the one,
for sure.
But if you could name any other that you believe in, like Bitcoin.
I mean, personally, I'm mostly interested in Bitcoin as a pure store of value.
Right.
So I don't think I can give honestly any recommendation besides Bitcoin, because it would not be, it would not be fair, because I'm mostly in Bitcoin, quite frankly.
Right.
But that being said, I am also a huge believer in free markets, and anybody can buy anything they want. Right. They can spend money on whatever they want. So do your research, just work on, do your research and just not get sort of hyped up on some bubbles and maybe just hype that is not substantial. That's what I would say.
And as a, as a CEO, do you have any take about market crashes? Because when market crashes, my earlier questions to Danny was similarly, we wanted to know when market crashes or go up in value, how does it impact Trezor as a company? Like, do you see more sales, or do you see more, load on the back end because people are using it a lot? So how do you handle these things, and how does it affect you as a company?
Yeah, so typically when Bitcoin price goes up, our sales goes up as well. So it's it is pretty much correlated. And it goes the other way around, right? Like if Bitcoin is not going up, then our sales kind of stagnate in a way. So yeah, that's the reality. And there were historically other events that were quite interesting. For example, the FTX fall. If you
That's the big one.
remember, our sales skyrocketed.
Everybody just wants to have a Trezor.
Yeah, exactly.
They learned the lesson the hard way.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think FTX crash is the biggest marketing for Trezor or a hardware wallet?
It really was at the time. I mean, it's probably what, like 3 years ago. Yeah. So it was. I mean, we could see it instantly. Like people would be, buying. And there were other hacks that, when these hacks happened, then people would start considering getting into self-custody of a hardware wallet.
Right. And this is a personal question to you, not as a CEO, but do you use DeFi? Like, do you use DeFi like normal, for lending, borrowing, or swapping?
I personally don't, but we connect to a wallet that allow this functionality, for example. So yeah, so I assume you might have talked about it with Danny, but
yeah, I did.
yeah. So he's definitely more of an expert on it than me, but yeah, it's ultimately on the user, and we are here to just provide the ecosystem that they can, do whatever they want. So
right. And for the last question, I just wanted to have your few advices. Let's say you're advising to somebody who is not into crypto but is watching us, and somebody who is in crypto. What would you advise them?
So if you're not into crypto yet, then research Bitcoin and ultimately buy some. I really believe it is, after all the sort of studying on like Ray Dalio writings on, I would recommend the book Why Countries Go Broke.
Yeah. It's a great book.
Yeah, I think it's great. And it's actually not about Bitcoin at all, and yet it is. Exactly.
Yeah. It's just about how country collapses.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's like, yes, obviously Bitcoin fixes this. So I would say, study that, and you will buy it yourself without me even like having to push you too much there. And for the crypto users, if you are on an exchange, get into a self-custody of a hardware wallet. It doesn't even have to be us, but I just really believe that hardware wallets are superior. Yeah, I do believe this.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Matej. And we are honored to interview you, and we are grateful to be here.
Thanks
once again. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.